Because every time the president says, well, the World Health Organization told us to do this, we did it in line with what the World Health Organization says. During the COVID period, a democracy was suspended in this country, and we were living under a medical technocracy. We were living under a tyranny coming from the World Health Organization, telling our president what to do, and in turn he oppresses our people. This is the reality, my brother.
Yeah, man, because, okay, I'm a little child in terms of the world matters, but there is something about the Rockefeller Foundation having been the one that initiated the World Health Organization as a wing under the United Nations. In as much as we understand also that under the United Nations, there is another wing of United Nations called the Security Council that have the power of veto. Then there is the General Assembly where everyone meets and just shout and go back home, you know. So coming to this point, it came to my mind that no, even the United Nations is a private institution, you know, to attack the world under the umbrella of humanitarian causes. Then if the Rockefeller really are the one that initiated and they are involved and they are funding the World Health Organization and they are working with CDC, I think it's now headed by Anthony Fauci, if I'm not wrong. You know, they are working with CDC, and this is what the agenda and the programs like the COVID, even Bill Gates, he even said a statement saying this is the age of vaccines, the vaccination. That is what he said. So you can't have somebody telling you that this is the age of this vaccination. What are you vaccinating people against? You already know about something, you know. So now we have this thing, United Nations, the World Health Organization is the one that was, you know, running this whole idea of the COVID thing, about the lockdowns and thing, and Bill Gates was the face, you know, and Anthony Fauci, and they are, I don't want to use another word, like, is it Tedros,
he is the head of the World Health Organization.
Those are the people that we are actually trying to give you a picture of what is happening about the world. These are the people that were, you know, the focal, the front, you know, of this whole COVID scandal, you know, or COVID pandemic thing, you know. So we have this conversation so that you know what's happening, you know, actually. So with that said, you know, what can we say can be the way forward for the general public of the people the next time they hear that Mr. Bill Gates had said this, he has come to a country? What must we say or do the next moment we hear about, you know, Mr. Bill Gates? Because as you explained, he comes in his own independent capacity. He's not representing his country or any country. So what is it that we will be expected to do?
Look, as I said, we must ask him who is he and what is he doing here? Because you see, this is the question that I asked our president. I told him that you can't. Imagine if I, as a South African citizen, I'm a citizen, I'm not a doctor, I'm nothing, and I'm sitting and I'm discussing with the American president about how are they going to deal with a medical emergency in that country. What am I doing in that conversation? I am putting the American people at risk because I could be an agent. I could be an agent working. I'm coming here, my only criteria for sitting with the president is because I've got a lot of money. And now if that is your criteria for sitting with the president, it's dangerous. Because maybe you've bribed the president, that is why he's allowing you to sit there, he's talking to you. Because if you didn't have the money, he had no other reason to talk to you. You're not an expert, you are a computer guy, what have you got to do with this? So I think one is we need to be careful and critical of what the media shows us. The media was making fools out of us, showing a computer expert now talking about medical issues. We should not allow this. We must call the media out and say, why would you take us for fools? The presidents, do you take us for fools? How are you talking to this guy? But you made a very good point, you know, in terms of the Rockefellers. Not only were the Rockefellers instrumental in establishing the World Health Organization, but you see this building that they are having the meeting in now, the UN building there in New York, where Ramaphosa gave his speech yesterday. That building was donated, the site was donated by the Rockefeller family. They donated that site. So their involvement with the work with the UN as a whole is very big. Not only that, you see, medicine has been changed For some people, I've spoken to some doctors, and they use the term, our public healthcare system has been weaponized. You see? In the beginning, before the Rockefellers got involved with public health, they were funding medical institutions around the world, Rockefeller Foundation. And one of the fights that was there, you see, maybe 100 years ago more, everybody in the world, they were practicing herbal medicine, you see. People were taking certain herbs and plants, drinking. This was how you treat. This was medicine. And this was medicine around the world. You have an ache here, you must stay away from that food. You must eat this food. You must use this herb from that tree. This was medicine. And then the Rockefeller Foundation came in and they said, no, medicine now is chemicals, okay? Medicine now is chemicals and drugs, etc. This is what medicine has become. So the Rockefeller Foundation played a key role to change the very nature of how health is being dealt with in the world. So it's a good thing you raise up. Obviously, we don't have a lot of time to go into it, but they've turned the world upside down, and the Rockefellers played a big role, and they continue to be one of those families that play a big role in shaping the future of our world.
Everything is weaponized. We are talking bioterrorism. Actually, it's amazing how time flies, because I said this is what we're gonna talk about first, but it has taken all our time.
Yes. It's important though. It's a very important issue.
Yeah, because people are sick out there. They are diagnosed in the wrong way.
Yes.
People are eating a whole lot of things that create sicknesses. Like medicine is weaponized. Food. Like maybe I can give you the platform to talk about food in terms of bioterrorism.
100%. Look, as I said,
agriculture also.
Yes, as I said to you, one of the most shocking things that happened in South Africa was, I think, 1997, 1998. Nelson Mandela was president, and he signed into law that South African food, we must have genetically modified maize. Now, as you know, maize is our staple food. We all eat pap, we enjoy pap, but our pap is not natural. And our pap is not even, our maize is not good for us. You see, genetically modified food have been known to cause cancer, have been known to weaken and cause other problems with people. And so that is our maize supply. When you go to any other thing, let the people go to the shops. Next time you go and you buy any food, whether it is anything, go look and see the ingredients on the other side. And when you look at the ingredients, you see there is almost no food in this country that has got some or other kind of harmful chemical in the food. People who are more conscious of this, they try to plant their own food, because it's very difficult. When I go to the shop, because I'm aware of this, I pick up the baked beans or whatever, and I look at the bag, I see some chemicals, and some of the chemicals and the ingredients, they don't even write what they are. They just give you a code, TX4561, and you must put that in your mouth and swallow it. So this is the problem. Our food has been weaponized. Our children are being given, are encouraged to take the soft drinks, Coca-Cola and all of these things. And that is, we have a spike in diabetes amongst our kids. Nothing is done to stop it. The government is not stopping it. In fact, you will find a situation where they will make juice. I was speaking to one brother, he was highlighting this to me. I didn't check it myself, so I'm just taking his knowledge here. But he was explaining to me, the price of pure juice is becoming more and more expensive. But the price of a 2-liter, fizzy drink, it stays around there, 10 rand, 12 rand, 50. They keep it there. And I want to see the study that shows to me that this is healthy for our children. It's not, but it is sold legally. It is sold legally. This GMO food that I say to you, imagine if someone comes to me, I just want to put this into perspective. Imagine if someone comes and says, you see the maize that God gave us, it's not good enough. We need to modify it. How? We need to modify the genetics of the maize and then give it to the people to eat. Our staple food. Most sober-minded people will say, no ways. How do we not know this is going to cause some problem with our people? The maize coming from God is good enough. Please, leave your hands off our maize. You understand? But not in South Africa. We are one of few countries who are eating these genetically modified foods in our maize. That is why we have an increase in cancer in our people. We have an increase in illness. We've seen many of our people, in some of our black and non-white communities, people used to say cancer and diabetes, these are white people's diseases, And that is, I still remember, I'm old enough to remember the time when this was said. Now, unfortunately, the cancers amongst our people, the diabetes, you find even small children, diabetes, cancer, all of these things, allergic to everything. We must ask ourselves what is going on. And the answer is simple. I've done research on these things. Our food has been weaponized. Our children are being harmed by these vaccines. And that is the result of what you are seeing now. The increase in illness, disease, obesity, and whatever amongst our people.
And like you were saying about the pricing of these things, the 100% so-called juice, because we're not even sure that it's 100% juice, and these other drinks that are there, is quite different. These others are more accessible. They make sure that what they know is going to be dangerous should be more accessible. You must access or use that on a daily basis. As an example, they say they are treating water, but they're using fluoride. Don't we know how much dangerous fluoride is to the brain tissue? They are attacking the mind.
Yes.
Fluoride and also is used in toothpaste. They say your teeth will shine like what? But the gums are nearer to the brains. So we use this thing, the fluoride goes straight to the brains now.
100%.
That is what we're talking about when you're talking about, bio terrorism, So you indicated the idea of Mandela signing the GMO, into law.
Yes.
How can you link that with the unwillingness of the people that still grab the land, still have the land that was grabbed in the colonial time? They don't want to release the land. Is there any link between the GMO for farming, agriculture, and the land policy?
Look, what is happening there is one could make the link, but if you say, for example, with Mandela and with what we are seeing here, our food is being poisoned. This is what I mean by subversion of South Africa, you see. Because under normal circumstances, when the government approves a food to be sold, then that food is healthy for you. If someone is selling something and it is causing illness and death, the health department should be there shutting it down, isn't it? This is a normal country.
Yes.
But in our country, this is not happening. The thing that is harming our people is cheap. You can get it easily. Your child comes now, they can get a 2 liter of Coke can sometimes be cheaper than a 2 liter of clean water. Because the 2 liter of Coke can harm your child. Now that is subversion. That means that the government has been taken over by an evil force. And this evil force, what is the job of the government? The job of the government is to make sure that the people are safe and secure, our society is safe and secure. But our government is making laws to harm our people. What is the job of the government? The government is there to make sure that our people have services. But here the services are being broken down to make sure that our people have... So that is the subversion of our country. Our country is being turned on its head. What is supposed to be good is evil. What is good, what is evil, it has become good. Part of what you were saying, how do we link that to the stolen land? You see, for Mandela to have signed laws into place that are harmful, I can assure you, my brother, there was no meeting done in the ANC. There was no public meeting that Mandela attended in Soweto where the people said, Mr. Mandela, please make a law for us to have genetically modified foods. This never happened. So these were paymasters that instructed Mandela to do this, signed them into law, and the purpose of this was to harm our people. And harming our people was to make sure, as you've mentioned now with the fluoride as well, is to make sure that our people physically, when they are crippled with disease, when their minds are not working properly, how will these people fight and get their country back? Look at the autism that into our boys now. The autism in black boys is unbelievable. Go into almost every family you know, and go back into the past, you hardly saw this autism. Now every family has an autistic boy, or he's struggling to learn. The girls are flourishing in that family, but the boys are struggling because something is happening to the boys. Now, why would you want to harm the boys? because the boys can take their country back if they know what they have the strength, they have the spirit to take their country back. But an autistic boy, he can take his country back? He can't. So this is the part of where this fits in, my brother. You poison the people, you weaken them, they stay oppressed, they stay slaves. And you were asking me, how do you get out of this? The first part that we discussed last time is we are in a situation, my brother, where we are colonized, we are oppressed, we are enslaved in our own country. And what do we need to do? We need a revolution to break out of it. And I'm obviously advocating a peaceful revolution. We don't want to give these guys any excuses to shut people like me up and toss me in jail saying I'm encouraging violence. I mean, for what I'm telling you now here, they have persecuted people for this thing. What I'm saying to you here now is not an easy thing. The people have been arrested, people have disappeared, people's names have been smeared. Like I say to you, Thabo Mbeki came out full force against HIV. Then they accused him of this and that. Then he was removed. Now I'm writing to him a letter explaining to him, Mr. President, and you're a very smart man. You know HIV and this thing is almost the same thing. Come, speak up with me. I'm speaking up. I need a giant like you to speak up. President Mbeki is quiet. Now, there are serious powers that can send terror into the heart of President Mbeki, where he's keeping quiet rather than talking. Let them poison the people. Let millions of the people be poisoned. I'm too afraid to speak about this demon.
Oh man, we are now facing this thing called the Mpox. I don't know what the president said about this whole scenario. In the United Nations, I would love him to be so realistic, and table out the matters of these things. We spoke about the influenza, the swine pox, HIV, COVID. Now we have, this monkeypox. Why did they call it monkeypox?
Because, look, everything related to Africa, you must understand, those people who don't like us, my brother, as Africans, they've been calling us monkey all the time. Go to European football stadiums and you see that, I think even Samuel Eto'o was playing there and people were in the stadiums were making this monkey sound. In one occasion, I don't know, one of the football players, I forgot his name now, but he reacted very nicely to they threw a banana at him. Black African player, they threw a banana at him, he took the banana, he ate it. So what I'm trying to explain to you, my brother, that monkey is the derogatory term they use at us. Now I am saying to you, how did they come up with these names of these viruses? Because I want the people who are listening now to carefully look here. This is what I'm putting to you. There is no virus has ever been proven to exist, none. They've never had an autopsy where they prove that this virus exists. Never. But what are the viruses named after? Some of them are named after demons. The demons in Greek history. A virus is named after a demon. In this instance, they named the virus monkeypox. And this monkeypox is found mainly in Africa. Because they want to cast an aspersion on us. They're making a joke about us. Yesterday, President Ramaphosa in the UN, he spoke about this monkeypox thing. And I want people to go into YouTube or wherever and rewind that part where he spoke about it. And what I saw there, because I'm looking at different eyes and I want you to look with the same eyes. President Ramaphosa looked uncomfortable speaking about monkeypox and how it is in Africa. You see, he was saying there is Mpox. It's everywhere in the world, but particularly Africa. When he said that particularly Africa, you could see in his body language, he knows. He knows they are making fun of us because there are people who call us as Africans monkeys. And you're telling me in Europe there is another COVID that is flying around, but here we must have monkeypox. What do they tell you about AIDS, about HIV? Where is it coming from? Monkeys.
Yeah.
Monkeys. Everything related to us must be monkeys, my brother.
So sad. But we need a revolution. This is the word that I've heard coming from your mouth, but it's sounding in my heart, it's sounding in my mind also. The truth is, brothers and sisters, wherever you are, whatever circumstances, and struggles that we are finding ourselves collectively facing, nobody will come. There is no angel that will fall from the sky and come to solve our problems. We have to take responsibility. We have to come together and come to the truth about what we are facing. It's so amazing. If there is a breaking in your house, what do? You shout and call for help from your neighbors, right? So this is an indicative of saying collective existence is a law of nature. Nobody can stand on their own. There is no country that can solve its own problem by itself or by herself. Because whatever is happening within a certain geographic space, it spills over into other spaces. So let us all come together, have a word of truth about the circumstances that we are facing, and have a word of a solution as to then what do we do? How do we handle this whole thing? So Mr. Maarman, you spoke about the idea of Azania, in the next episode, because now time is not on our space, in the next episode, or in our next conversation, strictly we'll be talking about the idea of Azania. We'll really give you space to table, down what Azania is, what are you up to, or what is Azania up to, because it's not about an individual. What is Azania up to, and how can people, engage, or maybe come in, but maybe just shortly, what can be the word, that you can say concerning, the revolution, Azania?
Thank you very much, my brother. Azania means, Azania was the oldest name for this part of the world here in Africa. Azania means the land of black people. Azania is also in the Bible, it has sort of a Hebrew meaning. It means that God has listened to us, to our cry of our oppression here. Azania also has sort of an Arabic meaning and connotation, and it means to call people and to call them, and also to call to God, to ask God to help us. And what Azania as a political party is doing is we are calling on the oppressed people of our continent, the oppressed people of South Africa, to come together and to get out of their oppression. How are we proposing this to be done? This is why the name is Azania. How are we proposing to do this? We are proposing this to be done through a peaceful revolution. Now, why do I call it a peaceful revolution? One, it has to be a revolution, because every single system in our country is geared to harm us. Like I told you, the food that is being sold is there to harm you. The police are there to arrest you when you start being out of line, not with right or wrong, but as we see now with many of the political persecutions. So what I'm trying to say is that our country is not operating properly. Instead of being there to benefit us, it is harming us. So therefore we need a revolution. A revolution means we need to change this country fundamentally. We need to take it back. It is our country, but it has been taken from us. We are living in our people are living in our own countries as if they are refugees. Go to Soweto, go to the squatter camps. That is how refugees live. You ask those people, are you a refugee? Are you maybe from another country, from Tanzania? No, I'm from South Africa. Your whole generation? Yes. Why are you staying here like you are about to leave? Or you just came? So our country is not normal. We need a peaceful revolution. A peaceful revolution cannot happen, or any revolution cannot happen, meaning a real change that will last in a country, unless the people change inside their hearts, inside their minds. If you are a person that is lazy and you are sitting, your environment around you, it will deteriorate because you will neglect it. So we can give you a good environment, but then it will become neglected because you don't have the energy, you don't have the will. So therefore, if you change the environment around someone, but you do not change inside their heart, nothing will really change long term. The same thing is, so therefore, if we want to really change our society, we need a peaceful revolution. We need to change the hearts and minds of our people. But then also we need to identify what are these chains that are binding us. How are they still oppressing us? How are they still stealing our resources? How is this? We need to understand these processes and structures, and we need to stop them, and we need to change them. And this is the, politics of Azania.
Thank you very much, Honorable Ricardo Maarman. It's been a pleasure having you in the house, And Zanzi FM, followers and listeners, I'm sure that they are boiling inside from the conversation that we've been having. I'm sure they are boiling inside, and whoever else who's gonna be having this information will be boiling inside. And I'm sure we will be interested, in coming into the table, to just understand what Azania is all about, because we need a revolution, that is for true. And as you say, the revolution begins with you, wherever you are, Mlaleli Laukona, the revolution begins with you. Change begins within. Be the change that you really love to see happening out there. Never think there is somebody who will come and spoon feed you with change, or bring change as a meal on the table. You are the change that you wish to see. So transform yourself, transform your mind, transform your heart, be the change that you really want to see out there. Then the magic will start from there, because we're talking of collective consciousness, So from me, Zawadi, all I can say is it's been a pleasure, being with you each and every time, and we're looking forward for more of conversation as time goes on. But back to you, Mr. Maarman, what can, how accessible are you, for the listeners and anyone else who would really love to make a follow-up, and come, into contact with you to gain more knowledge and also know more about Azania?
No, thank you very much, my brother, for this opportunity. Look, we have a website, so the best way to get hold of us is through the website. It is www.azania2024.org.za. So that is www.azania2024.org.za. So please go to the website, get some more information about what we are all about, educate yourself, and contact us. I'm very accessible, because it is important for us to build the revolution on the ground. We are not free, and not only are we not free, we are moving more and more into deeper danger, and therefore it is important for us to, with great urgency, to try and get ourselves out of this danger. And it starts with what you are doing here, my brother Zawadi, on the radio station. I really appreciate it. I applaud you. God bless you. And the listeners, the people who are listening, it starts with us here, because the people who are listening here are revolutionaries. Their hearts and minds are tuned to this, so we must connect, and I'm accessible and available to connect. So thank you for the opportunity, greatly appreciate it, and thank you for the listeners giving their time and listening to us. May God bless all of you.
I said, in the next time, like if God willing, that will be here again. We're going to be talking deeper about, Azania, about the revolution in the context of multi-party system that we have and the governance system of the world at large. So we'll be digging deep into that. But for now, time is not allowing us to continue, The next program will be continuing. So from Zawadi in Pandezemiti, we are on the exit right now. See you again in the next light. That is tomorrow. That's how they say it. So stay blessed, be blessed, and be the blessing unto other people's spaces. Learn to appreciate yourself so that you can be able to appreciate other people also. Learn to love yourself so that you can express love unto other people. Learn to forgive yourself so that you can be able to forgive other people. Learn to share your mind and your heart, and share everything within you, so that you can have that culture of sharing, and caring, for other people out there. Everything begins within. Nothing, you can't give anything that you don't have from within. You give only what you have, that is it. So let us have love, respect, care for each other, forgiveness, and all the values of Ubuntu and all the values of humanness. This is how the revolution begins, actually, because we're not talking the political language, we're talking the language of life, actually, because politics is connected to your culture, is connected to your economics, it's even connected to your spirituality also, it's connected to your destiny, actually. So everything is just under one umbrella. That is why we are emphasizing the idea of the change for the heart. Once we become human beings, not just beings, human beings, that is when we'll know what is good for us and what is bad for us. That is when we'll know what is good leadership for us and what is bad leadership for us. What is the good governance system for us and what is the bad governance system for us. What is everything, good space for us and the bad space for us. What is the good technology for us and the bad technology of us. It begins with you understanding that you are a human We simply mean we have all those intricate and important qualities and components of the Creator are within you. Compassion is within you, love is within you. So if you love yourself, you have an idea of organically preserving your space and preserving yourself. This is the end of our program today. We're leaving you with the sound of non-fiction say, the CIA is trying to kill me. In the meantime, in between time, Bonza say, it's me time.